the victim to report. If the victim is not reporting and she's scared, she's afraid, she's lost her confidence, please do your civic duty and your religious duty, either by reporting to the police or getting some neighbors to actually carry him or carry her straight to the police station. I think we need that. But today, my darling, I have victims in the studio to let you know that women are actually going through things. Please don't think I'm gender biased. I haven't got any gentleman yet. If I get any gentleman that the wife is beating him, abusing him, we will bring him here. But so far, I haven't got any yet. So for today, I have 3 wonderful ladies. For security reasons, I won't mention one of the ladies, but you will hear her voice. With me is Deacon Emanuela Oyeleye. I won't do too much of introduction. I'll leave them to do their own introduction. And also with me is Honorable Beatrice Ajekum. And then the last one, I won't mention her name. She won't introduce herself for security reasons, but she will talk and then you will hear her. Welcome, honorable ladies.
Thank you, Mommy.
You are looking good and powerful.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to share your stories. And thank you for delivering other ladies. You have no idea how many people are suffering in their marriages. They are dying slow in their marriages. And yet, there is no deliverance for them. There's no deliverance because they haven't spoken, they haven't reported, and they haven't told anybody about the story. But I believe that as they watch you, deliverance will come into their homes. Please, starting from Deacon Emmanuel Oyeleye, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Emanuela Oyeleye, and I'm a businesswoman and a mother of 4.
A mother of 4?
A mother of 4,
okay.
And also married.
Good. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Honorable, please introduce yourself.
My name is Honorable Beatrice Ajekum. I'm a mother of 2, but single.
Mother of 2,
yes.
But single.
Yes, yes.
I believe somebody is watching you.
Yeah.
Honorable, where is it coming from? Is it from the dictionary?
No.
You bought it? Let us know.
Actually, I was the former assemblywoman for Oblogo Tetegu lecture area.
Wow.
That's within the Weja municipality.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Wow. I'll leave the last one. Please, Deacon Emanuela, tell us about your past, the relationship you were in. Please tell us a bit about it, and then we'll go into the details.
Okay.
In other words, how many years were you married with the first one? How long did it take to come out? How many children did you have with him? And all that.
Okay. My past relationship, it really wasn't a long one. It was quite a short relationship. I had a daughter for him, and then about a year and a half later, we got married. And after our marriage, we got married in 2000, the year 2000. And by 2003, we were already separated.
So you were married for 3 years?
Yeah.
And then you courted for a year and a half?
No,
You knew each other.
I got pregnant just right from the beginning of the relationship.
Oh, okay.
So that was what actually culminated into the marriage itself.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
it wasn't a relationship that I nurtured into marriage.
Okay. Okay. Honorable, how was yours like? Did it end in marriage? How many years were you in the relationship? How many children came out of the relationship?
Actually, there was no marriage.
There was no marriage.
Yes,
Okay.
but we had two kids.
2 kids.
Yeah, 1 girl, 1 boy.
Okay.
Yes.
But were you living together?
We lived together for 1.5 years.
1.5 years.
Yes.
You lived together
Yes,
for 1.5 years. And then 2 children came out of it. Okay. So now to Sister C. How many years were you married?
For 16 years.
You were in the marriage for 16 years.
Yeah. We courted for 2 years.
You courted for 2 years.
Yeah.
So altogether 18 years.
Yeah.
Wow. How many children came out of the relationship?
5.
5 kids. You don't look it.
The grace.
How old is the firstborn? How is the second, the last one? Or what are their ages?
The first will be 15 October, and then the last was 4 this January.
Very, very young.
Yeah.
Very young. Wow.
3 boys, 2 girls.
3
Boys,
2
3
girls. 5. I hope you were celebrated during Mother's Day.
Not much, but
Not much, because they are young. It is well.
Amen.
It is well.
Amen.
They will be celebrating soon.
Amen.
The firstborn is 16.
15.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, give him the next 3-4 years, and you'll be celebrated big time.
Yeah.
Who? What was the marriage like?
It was an extremely abusive one. Abusive in terms of verbal and physical abuses that resulted in hospitalization, police coming in to arrest the man because neighbors, our next door neighbors, will hear of what was happening in our home, and then they will call the police to come and then have him arrested. So this went on for quite some time until our case was, the police referred the issue to Waju, and Waju took up my case, and then subsequently the divorce came.
Wow.
After.
So how abusive was the relationship? In other words, I want you to give us a vivid description. Sometimes when we say abuse, physical abuse, some people don't understand. Or maybe he pulled my finger a bit, you know, or he used his feet to hit me small. How abusive was the relationship?
So the physical abuse was hitting me,
Hitting you?
hitting me and pinning me to the ground, holding my neck against the wall, stepping on me, stamping on me on the floor with bruises. One time I started bleeding in the process. I ended up at police hospital. So that was the trigger of it when Waju, then Waju was introduced into my case. And this had gone on like over and over and over again. For the verbal abuses, it was where maybe I had put something down and it started from money actually, where you put money down. I was working then and he was not working. And I'll put my money down.
Oh, he was not working?
He wasn't working.
And he
at
was
the time.
abusing you?
Very well, very well.
He was not working?
He wasn't working.
So you were feeding him?
I was working and feeding him, and then the 2 little kids then. And so he would take my money, and when I complained about it, and it was like, why do you have to complain about it? And you should be happy I'm even spending your money, that kind of thing. And I was like, this is...
You should be what?
Happy, I put money down, and he takes it. And sometimes we had Miss Susu at work, and the money is given to me for
Susu,
kids.
where You
from
were
Westside.
okay.
My
No, no,
office.
no. Because of the international audience.
Okay, it's like a savings.
Good.
Savings.
So you were making savings.
We were making savings where a group of ladies will contribute for about 3 months and give to one person,
Okay.
and then it will be rolled over the next month. And then I was in custody of such monies.
Okay.
And then he will break into my little save and take the money. And when I complained, that one also became an issue. And the other abuse was also where he had taken the money and I had complained about it, and he was like, you are accusing me, and I'm like, it's the two of us that is in this house, no third party. Even my little kids were not with us because of accommodation issue. We never even rented a place for once. We were just hopping from one place to the other. Even to the time we got married, we still didn't have a place. He couldn't get an accommodation for us to live in. At a point in time, Mommy, you even gave us a place to live. And even at that place, the neighbors has to call Odoko police to come to my aid. So
even when I gave you a place to...
Yes. And if you could remember, the neighbors had called you and at the time, and twice Apostle Jonah himself was there also. So it wasn't just the verbal aspect, but the physical abuses, and he could look into my face and tell me I was ugly because I was complaining.
Wow.
And at a point in time, I had
beautiful lady like you.
Oh yes.
I hope the camera is on you. Tell you are ugly.
I am ugly to even complain. Do I know the people that freely offered themselves and give him money, and me, I am there, he takes my money and I complain about it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Wow. So, did you ever come to the place where you felt that what he was saying was true and that you were actually not beautiful? Did you ever come to that place?
Oh yes, I did, because also of how I grew up. I had gone through a lot of abuses in families that I had stayed with.
Okay.
Step parents that I had stayed with, and they tell you all the nasty things that at a point I began believing what they were telling me. So even in that relationship, I had lost myself in the relationship. I couldn't believe certain things for myself. Okay. I didn't believe that I was beautiful enough. I didn't believe that I was able enough. The only consolation was that I had to be there for my two little girls.
Wow.
And so that was the driving force at the time and nothing else. It has nothing to do with my confidence or anything. I lost them all completely.
Wow.
Completely, and running away from the public.
Wow.
Those days when I come to church, I had to sit at the back. I didn't want to come anywhere near the cameras.
Wow.
That was how bad I lost myself.
Honorable Beatrice, what is your story?
Actually, I was then the
Please
assembly.
speak up a bit.
Actually, I was then the assembly woman.
You were the assembly woman?
Yes.
So it's not like you were useless.
I know. So he was a government appointee.
Okay.
And he came to the assembly to serve. So when he came, I mean, we were friends from the beginning.
Okay.
And we liked each other. We started dating.
Okay.
So I took him home to my parents. I mean, he got to know my parents got to know him. So he said he wanted to settle down with me. And I told my mom. And my mom said it's too early for me to get married.
Okay.
Because I just got to know him. So I should get to know him.
After how many months?
That was for like 5 months.
5 months, okay.
And she said I should get to know him better before I would settle down with him. So I agreed. But it got to a point, my mother, for a year, my mother started acting funny towards him when he comes around.
Sure, your mom was seeing something you were not seeing.
Exactly. So I didn't understand the reason why my mom was acting funny towards him. So my mom came to me and asked me, are you sure he doesn't have any kids? And I told my mom no. So I went to him and I asked him, do you have any kids or with anyone? He said yes. He has 2 kids with a woman. They are twins.
Okay.
So I asked him, are you staying with the lady? He said no.
Okay.
So I went back to tell my mom, and my mom said, I don't believe the story the gentleman is telling you, but there's more to it.
That's right.
So I asked her if there's anything that I don't know.
She should tell you.
Yes. And she said, you know, adults have their own ways of doing things. And she said, I'm too young to know now, but later she will tell me. So I went back to him and I told him, if there's anything I need to know about you, just let me know, because I want a situation whereby I'll be there and, I mean, something will just come up and I'll end up regretting being with you. And he said, oh, everything he has told me about him is 100% true, nothing different. So I went to my mom and pleaded with my mom. She should just allow him to come around. So during the process, I got pregnant.
Okay.
Yes, with my first daughter. So along the way, my mom didn't want to accept the pregnancy. So I had to beg, keep on begging, and later she accepted the pregnancy. So when she accepted, I gave birth and everything, but the situation became worse. So we agreed, okay, let's move in and stay together. When we stay, I'm sure that my parents would, make us settle down.
That's right. So you lived with a gentleman, you moved in to live with him without the blessing of your parents. I hope a young lady is listening. I hope a young lady is listening. My darling, sometimes the parents see something you don't see, and they feel something you don't feel. You know, women have this intuition. They meet people and they feel it. They can't tell you ahead, but they feel it. No, this man is not correct. Please, take your time. So please, if your parents, I'm not saying that they are always 100% right. When we were doing red flags, we looked at it. Sometimes you go through your parents, sometimes you go through your pastors. If your parents say no, go through your pastors. Let your pastors have, a word with your parents. For all you know, there's something that they are feeling and there's something that they are seeing. Please continue with the story. So you moved in.
Yes. So before I moved in with him, people around me and my mom, they always come up with stories. Oh, the guy is this, he's married with another woman.
Okay.
And he has other 5 kids with other different women. So when they say that, and I go back and ask him, he'll be like, oh, why are you always listening to people?
It's not true.
It's not true. And he'll come back and tell me, those people don't like us, so I should stay away from them. And because I was so much into the relationship, I ignored everybody,
the friends, the people around you, your mom.
Everyone. And he was so good, like, he's very good. When it comes to lies, he manipulated me.
Oh, when you said good, I thought you meant good in giving and good in lies.
Very good. Extremely good. And he's very good at manipulating you. You never, I just don't know the word to use, but he really got to me.
Wow.
He really got to me.
And you believed everything?
Everything. I sacked everyone off.
Including family members.
Including family members.
My darling, you are listening to us. If you are in a relationship and the guy is keeping you away from everybody, your parents, your siblings, your very good friends, I want you to know that there's something he's hiding from you. There's something he's about to do. I hope a young lady there is listening and, getting clues out of these stories. Oh my God. So, you believed him so much.
Yeah. So he was going for a political office.
Okay.
So I went in to help him and support. I gave him all the support I could. But it got to a point, he started abusing me verbally. And the ladies, the volunteers who came to help him to campaign, he started sleeping with them.
He started sleeping with them.
No.
Before then, you said your people around you told you he was married and he had
Exactly.
5 children.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it true?
Yes, that was later on.
So you got to know this
Later on. By then, I mean, everything was messed up.
Wow.
Everything was.
He never told you.
He never told me.
He only said he had 2 children.
Yes, and
Twins.
even to date, even still when you ask him, he will still lie about it.
Wow.
So sometimes when we have visitors, and I mean, maybe he wants you to do something and maybe you do it the other way, he will start insulting you in front of people. He will slap you and all that.
Slap you?
Breaking of bottles. I have the scar here.
Let them see the scar.
Everybody can see it.
Wow. Wow. Before people.
Yeah. So it got to a point.
And what were the people doing?
Everyone was quiet because when you talk to him, he would be like, I don't want you to interfere in my relationship. It got to a point
I hope they had Lawyer Jifa, they had Reverend Jifa, that you can report on behalf of somebody.
I got to a point I lost control of myself. I always wanted to be alone. I didn't want to talk to anyone, but it was even difficult for me to pray at times. So my next neighbor spoke to me. So I just woke up one day and decided to just leave. And when I left the house, I stayed with a friend for some time because
you were ashamed to go home.
I couldn't go home. So even before I got home, I was 8 months pregnant with my son.
With the second one?
Yeah, with the second one. So I had to find people and
oh, my dear. My darling. My darling. I handled somebody a month ago. The person was in a very abusive relationship with her too. The parents said, listen, the way we see the guy, I don't think he deserves you. Wait. Get to know him some more. Unfortunately, he never listened. He never listened. No, she never listened. Went into the relationship. Now when he became too abusive, she was so ashamed she didn't want to go home. My darling, go home. Parents as we are always ready to forgive you. We don't make mistakes. We've made our mistakes. Please, don't be in a relationship and die because you're ashamed of what your siblings would say, and you're ashamed of what parents will say, and you're ashamed of what neighbors will say. Please go home. Whew. It's okay to be emotional, I understand. Let it come out. So you ask some people to go and beg for you.
Yeah.
We will come back to you. Please let it come out. I will come back to you.
It's not easy.
Sister C, you've started crying before eh? Please don't come and spoil my show for me. You have started, you are crying. What was your story like?
Mommy, it was so bad from day one. When I met this guy, this nice gentleman, and we started. One day he came to my house, and my uncle, he was sitting down there with my friend, And then my uncles go like, you, I've heard you are going out with a guy. I've not seen the guy, but I have this feeling
Wow.
that the guy is not a good guy for you.
Your uncle,
My uncle.
he had never seen the man. Never seen
And
the
the guy was even sitting right in front of him, but he didn't know.
He didn't know him. All he said is, I have this feeling.
So he was saying it in front of him.
My darling, God speaks to us. So,
So he said, I have this feeling that the guy is not a good one for you. So he just asked, are you the guy? Then I quickly said, no, he's not the guy. So we left it there. Then we started. Then one day, I think I went somewhere. When I was coming, I saw him with this lady. And they were smooching, doing their things. So I
this was during courtship.
during the courtship.
And
So
I was going to, and first, tell us about the marriage. I will come back and then we will go into the courtship stage. Tell us about the marriage, how abusive it was.
for the physical one, I have so many marks on me. Biting. I have God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit at my back. Bites me 3. Bites. Or back cow.
With his teeth.
Good. He will bite you. So I still have the mark at my back. And then my face, I think one is here. My
I can
neck,
see the mark on your face.
My neck. They have to rush me to the hospital for collar. A whole lot. I can receive 6 slaps within 1 second. And I'll turn around and ask, did somebody slap me? Because my ears will be doing for 3 days.
3 days. Slap you within a minute or a second. 6.
Not resting.
For what? What were you doing? I mean, what was your offense?
This, like, I've seen him with another lady, or he's cheating, and then maybe you ask, he'll go out, come late, and you ask, where are you coming from by this time? You don't have the right to ask. No. Whether he's cheating, you don't have the right. The least thing, you must receive slap. Until I lost one of my ears. So right now that I'm talking to you, one of my ears is not good.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't hear in one ear.
No, it's not that all good.
Because of the slaps.
Yeah. As for the slap, dear, I have degree.
You have degree.
Yeah.
In the slapping.
Slapping. So it came to a time when he slapped me, it's like he's calling me because I became used to the slap. And I was afraid to leave because of the children.
You said how many children do you have with him?
5.
5 children.
And then all this will happen in front of the children, from the first to the last.
They saw their father slap you.
Everything. You know, I was naked before people 3 times.
You mean stark naked?
Naked.
He will strip you naked or what?
I was with this
Cloth.
So when he came in and then he was talking to another lady on phone. He said he was traveling for something. Not so he went with another lady. So I was outside when I heard him saying, talking to the lady, when they went out, what they did and other stuff. And so he was watching telly and was talking about. So when I entered, I said, you told me you are going to do something. That was it. So he started, how dare you question me? You know, the slap there, as for the slap there, I was used to it. So the cloth fell. People were there trying to hold him, trying to hold me. So I was naked before. So I
Wow.
think one woman ran and then
Brought a cloth.
Brought a cloth and then covered me. Yeah.
And then the second experience,
The second,
also before people.
Before people. And that one, we were even coming to church. And then we were in his grandmother's place. You know, we were sharing the room together. And it was around 5. So after
5 a.m.
5 a.m. So after bathing, I decided to sit outside and pomade myself because the other people also in the room. So he came out and said, "Why are you sitting outside pomading?" I said, "Oh, there are people in the room. I can't go and pomade there. Because I want people to look at me. I'm sitting outside pomading." That dawn, I receive it. So people came out holding, and then the towel fell in front of them.
Wow.
It was serious. Mine was so serious to the extent that I started losing everything.
You told me he could hold your head and hit it on the wall several times.
And then he'll hold your here. He'll make sure he touch something here, and then you
like wanting to kill you.
Mommy. Mine
Wow.
was so serious. And when you go home, they will tell you, especially, I went home one day and my mother said, "Listen, beating doesn't kill. You must go back."
Oh my God.
Go back.
Your own mom
My mother.
said beating doesn't kill.
You have to go back. In fact, this beating started long time ago.
Why? She was also going through beatings.
I think so. And as for her, she left. But she was telling me I should go.
Because the man was taking care of you.
The children, so I should go.
Was the man taking care of her?
No.
So just because of the children?
She doesn't want me to leave the marriage. I said, "Mommy, I was dying. I can't stay. You must go." So I came there 2 days, and then the 3rd day she will call you. You know something. You need to go back. You need to go back to your husband. You need to go back. We will talk to him.
Did you tell her the extent to which the man was physically abusing you?
Even the bites. Like
She
2
saw
weeks.
them.
She saw it straight from the hospital. I went there.
She didn't report.
Even she'll tell you, "Don't go and report. Oh, I'm begging you, don't go and report."
Don't go and report.
No. So I'll go for the police form. It came to a time. There's this doctor at accident center.
Okay.
I went there.
Accident center, Kolebu.
Kolebu. I went there with, I think, the bite. And he said, "You again, today, I will not take care of you. Go to the police station. Come here with the police before I'll take care of you." So I went, took the form. He took care of me, but I didn't go back
Because
to
your
the police
mom
station.
was telling you, don't report.
Don't report.
I hope a parent here is watching and is listening to us. My darling, you need to help your daughters and your sons come out of abusive relationships before you lose them, before they die. Many people have died foolish death because our society frowns on divorce. If the relationship is not working and is abusive, please encourage them to come out instead of asking them not to report, and instead of asking them to continue to stay in when they are actually dying in the relationship. Wow.
Yes, Mommy. Yes, Mommy.
Wow.
It wasn't easy at all.
Wow.
It wasn't easy.
Honorable Beatrice, are you okay now? You think you'll be able to continue?
So, my uncles went to the house and they spoke to my parents. So they took me and...
To your parents?
Yeah.
Your parents were together?
Yeah. So I had to apologize to them and they took me back in. Yeah, so since then it's been good. They are trying to get over whatever happened. It's not easy, and I would say to the viewers out there, if you're a young lady, you shouldn't go into relationships that will end up costing you a lot. And we should listen to our parents. Sometimes they are not 100% right, but you have to listen to them because they've been through things before
That's
that
right.
we haven't been through. So sometimes when they advise us, we have to take it. And when we enter into relationships, we should make sure that our pastors in church get involved. Because with my situation, I tried as much as possible to get him connect to with my pastor, but he never wanted to come forward.
That's your man.
Yes.
Never wanted
He
to.
never wanted to come forward. So I realized that I don't have
And
to.
that was a red flag.
It wasn't easy, but I thank God I came out strong because most people wouldn't be alive.
We
with my
will
situation.
we will come to that. My darling, we will take a commercial break. I don't want to be emotional, but all my ladies are crying. We will take a commercial break and we'll be back. Welcome back. If you just joined us, oh my God. The studio is something else. I don't want to cry too. These ladies have been through stuff. We have victims of domestic abuse that are sharing their story. Deacon Emilia, before marriage, did you see any sign of abuse?
Yes, I did.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I did. It happened a couple of times when he had visited my home and I had gone out with my cousins.
Okay.
And then I didn't even know that he was around. And then we came back and someone told me that he was around, and I think he was hanging around. And when he got to know that I was around, he came and right in front of my gaze. He was very angry and on top of his voice,
Shouting.
like very loud. And so in the compound, people could hear us. And because we started arguing, I was like, first and foremost, you didn't tell me you were coming to see me. And I had the right to go wherever I wanted to go, because at that time,
You were not even married.
not even the married, I wasn't committed to the relationship.
Okay.
I had told him I wasn't interested.
Okay.
So the only thing that will get him off my back is that when he comes around, I'll just talk to him and then
Okay.
he goes away. So we entered into a heated argument. Then when I went back to the house, it just re-echoed some of the things. My mom was like, this guy, I don't even like his personalities. And to quote my mom verbatim, he said, he doesn't even deserve you. Look at you and look at him. And for me, I thought at the time my mom was just too much.
Was
to
just being
utter
funny.
Those words that, look, he doesn't deserve you. He was, the way he talks, I just don't like it. And that was one time. Then another time too, he came, I had gone out, I came and that one to complain. I was like, look, if you come to my house and when you come, I'm not around, and I come back and we are going to argue, then don't come into my house again. And I told him. He went away, came back later, and he said, oh, he apologized. It was blah, 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 blah. He was not going to do that again. And so in the course of that, he came back. He had invited me an outing to make peace, and then I went out. And it was that outing that got me pregnant.
Oh my God.
So like I said,
You saw a sign.
My relationship was not a planned one. We are dating,
Okay.
hoping to get married.
Okay.
But it just happened in the spell of moments where you had gone out and then If I were to tell somebody you are going out with someone, you know very well from your heart you are not interested in this relationship. He has come to say, oh, just take me out once. Once you know what is inside your heart and something tells you you are not into it, listen to that inner voice. Don't go out with the person. So I did. Okay, let's make a peace reign. But peace reign not to continue into the relationship, but to get off my back. And then we went out, we had some Coke and Fanta. I remember very, very, very well. And on our way coming, he said, oh, he wanted to pick something from home before we come. So I followed him to the place. It was my first time
of going to his house.
Going to his house. I had never gone to a hotel with him before. It was my first time ever that I got to know his house. And then it was a chamber and hall. I saw a brother and a sister at the hall. We sat down together. We were having a drink and watching television. And then he went inside his room. And then one moment he called me. He wanted to show me family album. So I joined him in the room. Oh, brothers and sisters are sitting there chatting. So we were watching family album. And then he started advances. And I said, look, this is not why I am here. And then I opened the door, entered the hall. When I went, the hall was empty. The siblings were not there. And the door going outside was locked.
So after the pregnancy, you were forced to marry him?
I was forced to, because at the time I've had a daughter already, and I didn't want this tag of having children without
born
a
one,
father
born two
figure. So it was a peculiar situation that I never ever planned for. For my first daughter, I was planning, we were getting ready for engagement, and I got pregnant. I take full responsibility for my action. But for what happened the second time, shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened in the first place. And so later on, I realized I was pregnant. So you can just imagine my mother's anger. Like, this is what I said, and that is what has happened. And to some extent, I became so afraid of my mom that my mom would leave home. She was working at St. Anthony as a matron, the one at Sackerman then. So in the nights, when I realized I should come home around 6 p.m., I would leave the house before my mother comes. Then a friend that was living at Abosoka, then we were living at Matayeko, I'll come and stay with a friend to sleep in their hall with my pregnancy, early pregnancy, about 2 months. It got to a place where he said I shouldn't even sleep at the hall again. So the lady husband will make me sleep at the hall. They were Muslims.
Okay.
And then at 4 a.m. he will come and wake me up. Then 4 a.m. I'll come and sit under Carnation Bridge. And I'm saying this thing for the first time in public. 4 a.m. I'll sit under the Carnation Bridge until about 6 a.m. when I know that my mother would have gone to work. Then I'll go to the house, and when my grandmother sees me coming from the gates, she'll be like, this one will pass away. And then I'll get what
So just for fear of your mom?
Just for the fear of my mom, for what I had brought upon myself.
Okay.
I was trying to avoid her, because when she got to know that I was pregnant again, she was very angry with me, which I take responsibility for, but I couldn't stand her anger. Probably if I could stand her anger, the situation would have been different. So I slept under Carnation Bridge for about 3 months.
Wow.
And I was sleeping on the compound of my friend in the dew with my early pregnancy.
Wow. So when did you finally go home, like settle?
So
that should have been around the 4th or the 5th month.
Yes, it never got about the 4th month. Then Reverend Johnny got us a place, because he didn't even have a place. He has lost the place where he was staying. So I couldn't even, and actually if even he had asked me to stay with me, I wouldn't, because I was very angry at the situation he had put me through. So talking blah blah, when he said he was ready to get married to me, and then we got a place and we had to go and stay at a friend's place, and that was where I stayed at until I delivered.
We will come back to you. Sister C, before marriage, did you see signs of an abusive relationship?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah. So many occasions.
What did you see?
There is this day that he said we should go home around 10 p.m.
Go home. Where home means?
I should
go to his house.
His house, his place.
Because then you were not married.
No, we are not married. And I said, no, because I don't want to go out. So I'm just seeing him off and then come back home. So when we got to the junction, I said, let's go home. And he's that type. When he speak, you dare not say anything. So I said, no. Before me saying no, I've received 2 already. So
this was during courtship.
That was my first time. I was like, wow. Why did you slap me? Before me saying, why did you slap me, I've received another 2 already. So that was where the punches started coming. Oof, 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 aye. So somebody came and then came to hold him. Why are you doing this? And it was raining too. The person said, you can't do this. She said she should not go home. Why are you beating her? She must follow me to the house. And that day, she dragged me
to his house.
To his house. So the next day when I came home, I said, no, this guy, I have to do something about it. The 3rd day, he came crying, begging, and he came with people, crying, begging. He didn't know what came over him. He's sorry. He will not do it again. He will not do it again.
That was the first time?
That was the first time.
So you believed him?
I said, oh, okay. Let me, I've forgiven you. Less than 2 months, I met him with another lady. And I said, Aiko. And he goes like, Aiko for what? I said, for what you are doing. We were then living, my mom lives around Audome. So, in front of the street, I've received 3 already.
Wow.
Slap.
Courtship.
Oh, yes. So I saw it. But anytime he does that, he will come back crying, begging. So it's like, let me give him another chance. Then
so how many chances did you give him?
Uncountable chances. I can't remember. Because I kept on giving chances. Forgive me. I will not do it again. Help me to pray. Pray for me. I don't know what is wrong with me.
My darling, I said it during the red flag. Don't allow a man to hit you the second time. Don't give him the chance to do it again. Because he will do it again and again and again and again. I've seen it happen so many times. And the story is always the same. They will come crying. They will come apologizing. If you live outside the country, overseas, they will bring you flowers. As for Ghana, I don't even know what they bring to the ladies. I don't know what they bring them, Wachi and Wele. I just don't know what they give to the ladies. For the ladies to get so convinced that this man will change. So he never changed.
Nah, he never changed.
So why did you go into the marriage?
I got pregnant.
Okay.
So I decided after giving birth, and we were here, so many pastors. He came to talk to the pastors. And the pastor said, see, what you are doing, if you don't, you will not change. He said, I will change. So he was able to convince them, I will change. And mommy, when you see him, You even beg for him.
Wow.
Yes, he's that, fresh guy, innocent guy. You will never believe it. So when I come and I talk about it,
They think you are lying.
some of the pastors said, you are lying. Because this guy, no. He does this. It's not true. And I'll go home and cry. And when we get home, you say, I told you they will not believe you. Don't worry yourself, because they will not believe you.
At the time, did you tell your parents about it?
Yes,
during caution.
Yeah, my mom was there, and my mom would always beg for him. Because
Why? What did she say about him?
Mommy, when you see him crying, rolling on the floor,
wow.
Mommy, you will beg for him. You beg for him. So always, different people will come, give him another chance. He will change. Pray for him. I prayed and prayed and...
I'm sure you even fasted.
Mommy, fasting...
When your banku and okra stew was waiting for you.
I will be praying. God, I'll wake up dawn. God, what is this? God, I'm begging you. And by the time you realize he's snoring there, then I'll be praying. Until I said, no, this one, dear.
We will come to that. How you finally left. Wow. Honorable Beatrice, before you moved to stay with him, were there signs?
No.
You didn't see anything at all?
I didn't see. But the only thing, my mom was complaining.
Okay.
And people around me were also complaining. But he's that kind of innocent face.
Like this one?
So you can't tell. You wouldn't know when he's going to, but...
So, when he hit you for the very first time, why didn't you move out?
I planned on moving out the following day.
Okay.
Because it happened around 10 p.m. in the evening. Yeah, okay. 10 p.m. in the evening. So, he came at dawn. He came to me around 5 a.m. to apologize.
To apologize? It's the same story, my darling. My darling, it's the same story. Did he add crying to it? He didn't add crying. This one's own. Cry, roll on the ground, beg, look for people. So he woke you up around 5 a.m.
Yeah, to apologize, and...
You believed him. You forgave him.
Exactly. Because I believe in second chances.
Okay.
Because I always say that, even humans, when we sin, God forgives us. How much more a human being you can't? But...
So, the second time, how did it happen?
The second time, I heard he was having a conversation with the lady. So, not knowing, the lady knew me.
Okay.
So she called me at dawn while I was sleeping. So she told me that the guy was trying to ask her out.
The lady called you?
She called me. I don't know how she got my number. So the following morning she called me and she said she's going to call me and call him and make a conference call. So he didn't know I was listening to the conversations he was having with the lady.
Okay.
So after the conversation, and I went to him and I told him, I heard whatever you were discussing with the lady. And he got upset and there was a beer bottle. So I had to...
Mr. Tapwell, a beer bottle?
A beer bottle, the big one. So I was trying to prevent it with that was when I had the cut.
So what was he trying to do with the beer bottle? Cut you?
Like trying to hit my head.
Yeah.
So I had to use my hand to...
For saying I heard you?
Yes.
So that one too, why didn't you come out?
The same apology. And during that time, I was having issues with my parents, so I couldn't go back home.
Okay.
So I had to just accept it and stay
Didn't you have friends you could go to?
I ignored everybody. So
you ignored everybody?
I couldn't go back to them. Because going back was, the feeling was, I didn't know what to do because I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't have anyone to talk to.
How did you finally come out?
So
how were you able to take the bold step and say, now enough is enough?
That day, I don't know what came over me. I just packed my stuff in the morning. And he saw me leaving. His friends also saw me leaving, and he couldn't come to me to say, I just packed my things and I left. And that day when I left that house, it was like my soul was at peace. I mean, I felt good. I felt extremely good.
Felt extremely good.
Extremely good.
For being a human being one more time.
Extremely good. So I spoke to a friend. I went to stay in a hotel for 3 days.
Wow.
Because I had to look for people to come and apologize to my parents before they would take me back in. So I had to stay in the hotel with my daughter for 3 days.
Were you working?
No.
You were not working. So how were you able to pay the hotel bills?
Actually, my friend paid for it.
Okay.
Yes. So, because during that time, I had opportunities, and because of him, I just pushed those people off my back. And even though now I regret being in a relationship with him, I always say to myself, if I wasn't in a relationship with him, I'm sure I would be somewhere better now. But I always try to encourage myself. I mean, there's more hope out there. And everyone that I ignored, funny enough, when I came back, they've taken me.
You.
Exactly.
My darling, nobody will hold anything against you. All the people you ignored, your parents, your siblings, your friends, your mates, your colleagues, neighbors, my darling, at any time you can pick the phone and call them. Don't ever think any of them will close up on you. They would always, always listen to you. Wow.
And Reverend Agui has been an amazing father. During that period, he's been talking to me and everything. So when I came home, he spoke to my mom.
Lady.
He spoke to my mom, and my mom has really tried.
Your mom has
some
tried.
mothers wouldn't take you back. She went through, I mean, a whole lot.
Wow.
We are five. I'm the only female and the last born.
Oh.
So
oh. Should I? Okay. You're. Oh my God. The only female and the last born.
So I'm really dead to my mom.
And your brothers couldn't go and beat him up. Did he ever tell you you were ugly?
He once told me, I'm nobody.
You are nobody.
Yeah. And you know, funny enough, when was this Sunday? Sunday was Mother's Day. So one of his friends sent me a photo we took way back when he proposed to me. And the guy said he has placed the photo on his status, and he has written God bless you, like me. So I told his friend he's not normal.
It's not normal, certainly.
And,
Men like
and
that are
people, his
sick.
friends keep on coming to me, oh, go back. And I always tell them, see, even God, if I go back to that guy, God
will
don't even kill
forgive
me.
you.
He's not someone I would want to go back.
Beating you before people.
And even with the kids that he has other children with, I heard he's not even taking care of them.
He's not taking care of the kids.
So, I mean, what is he going to do for me that would be so special that my mom can't do it? And my mom is doing so well. She's taking care of myself and my
Your
kids.
mom is taking care of yourself and the kids until you're able to stand on your feet.
It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy.
Deacon Emanuela.
Yes, Mama.
How were you finally able to come out?
So after the continuous abuses, the physical and the verbal abuse, I think before I could even listen to the Waju officer that was assigned to my case, in one of the verbal abuses, he told me that without him I am nothing, and that I should remember I already had a daughter before the second one that I have had.
Were you the first, and would you be the last?
And that
My darling, they would always use things against you. Nobody will marry you. I am the only one that can marry you. You are not beautiful. I'm the only one who will marry an ugly girl like you. No, my darling, don't listen to these things and think it is normal. Don't feel like you are the abnormal person. You are the crazy one. He is the one that is crazy. Please.
So he said, I will amount to nothing. No man will marry me. And that I am not good enough even for him. He was only managing me.
He was managing you.
He said he was managing me. He wanted to make my life better. He was trying to discipline me instead of me to lie low and be disciplined.
The beating was discipline.
As part of the beating for him was part of discipline. And so the one
the beating was part of discipline.
He said the beating was
these
part
days,
of
even 6-year-olds and 10-year-olds, you can't discipline them by beating them. My darling, if you are beating your children, please, you are old school. You beat your children in love. You don't just get up and beat them and slap them in the head and hit the wall.
And so when he told me that nobody will ever marry me and that I will amount to nothing and I will go hungry and struggle to raise my 2 little girls, it hit me and I started thinking. And so I thought through it. Even after that, the last round was another beating where he threatened to kill me. Wow. And my brother had come that evening to come and visit us, and not knowing the gate was open.
Okay.
So that's how he walked through from the gate at Sakaman, your old place. He walked through the gate to the hall to our room. And heard it. And my brother said, sister, even if you want to be killed, I will not allow you.
I like that.
To die here.
That's a good brother.
And so my brother fought him that night.
Wow.
And then got him out of the place. Before then, we could hear police had arrived. The neighbors had called police, and they took him out. So that last incident was a very good wake-up call for me. The verbal words started hitting me back. I will amount to nothing. I'll go hungry. And then I look back and I check. I said, if my mother could raise 5 children all by herself, then I could do better with 2 girls. So it rather became a challenge for me that whatever that I would do successfully to raise these children up by the help of God, I will do it. Wow. And even though at the time I was working, I started taking on other jobs. Okay. That was when I started buying things and selling when I was still working at STC. And so I could give things on credit to my friends. And I rented the place. And before I could say back, I had where I had bought things from laces to dresses to a whole lot of things where I was giving to people on credit, and I rented a shop also whilst I was still working as a corporate woman.
Wow.
And I did all of them together, and today the story is different.
Before I go to Sister C, please pour in your questions. If you have an experience you want to share with us, or you know an experience of a neighbor, please don't hesitate to send it to us. Your questions, your contributions, your stories, what you have been through, please do well to send to us. Sister C,
Yes, Mommy.
how did you finally take the bold step to walk out of the relationship?
That was 2018, 21 days fasting.
Okay.
People praying for husband divorce. So daddy will say, if you have a husband and you want to change him, receive it. Then I'll jump and I'll receive it.
Wow.
He was then sitting at my back. Then I remember one day, daddy said, receive children. So my kids was like, you, daddy is sitting at your back. You are receiving new husband. You must receive this one. Children receive it. I said, no, I'm just changing daddy. I don't want children again. Wow. So I prayed for 21 days just for God to deliver me from this abusive marriage. I never prayed for anything that 2018. And then 2019 came, and then he started again. The insults, how useless you are. I don't even see the use. I left him before I realized I'm a very beautiful person. I never knew.
You never knew you were beautiful?
I never knew.
Because he kept telling you you were ugly.
I would stand in the mirror and ask myself, what is wrong with me? Because every day you are useless. You are useless. I don't even love you. I'm just taking care of you because of the children. The worst was like, when we are looking for women to marry, do you also call yourself a woman?
Wow.
I was like, hey, until I left. I said, Sam and warfare. I never knew I was.
Obi you share with 5 kids. Somebody is looking for you, waiting for you with 5 kids.
I never knew.
I didn't even know you speak so well.
I never knew. So I finally said, no, this one, I will leave. So it was January, we were in the fasting 2019, and I traveled. I came very late. When I came, he started again. You are talking about me. You are telling people I'm a womanizer. You are telling people this. So I was like, where from all this? Then he started, useless girl, useless you. He was insulting me, foolish. Using the words in front of the children that very night, around 11 p.m. So I stood and I said, God will judge between me and you. And surely this will come to an end. This nonsense must stop.
Wow.
And
you were not afraid that day?
That day I was not afraid.
Some
and
confidence.
I was in tears because I lost everything. Like I lost when I don't even come closer to people. No, wow. Because I don't deserve to come. No. I'm always hiding myself. Always hiding myself. As if I don't so that day I was angry and was in tears. I said, this will come to an end. So I left the house for 1 week, sleeping at New Plan Station.
Wow.
And then when you are traveling, you come and sit. They have this chairs over there that you sit on to wait for the vehicle to come. That is where I'll sit down, do like this till 4 a.m., go to the public bath, go and bath, and then I'll go to work. For 1 week, until one day my son called me and said, Mommy, you are not coming to live with Daddy. Come and live with us.
You mean your son?
My son.
How old was your son then?
At 13, 12 into 13. So they were all the 5. They were coming from school. So the driver called me and then they said, we want to talk to Mommy. Mommy, we want you to come and stay with us.
Did they have accommodation?
No.
So how were you going to stay with them?
I should come and stay with them in their father's house. But I'm not coming to stay with their father.
Oh, okay. But that was not going to be possible.
And that day I went, they were crying, so I wept. So that night I went to the house. So we were sleeping in the hall together with them. We were sleeping. For 2 months, I was praying, fasting. God, open a door for me. Open the door for me. Then April 24th, He went to work. By the time he came, I've gone.
With the kids?
With the kids.
Where did you go? Did you have accommodation?
Yes, because one of our pastor's wife came to visit us that night. And then she didn't tell me she was coming. So when she came, normally when she wants to come, she will call me and I will tell her I'm not in the house. But that night she didn't call, so she came. She wanted to solve the issue. When she came, she asked him to go and bring Bible. Then he asked the kids to go into the bedroom and go and sleep. It was just in my hall. We were 7 in the Chimay hall. So they should go and sleep in the bedroom. And you know, boys, they were playing on the floor. So I heard the slap. Hey, the children were shouting, Mommy, Mommy. So we ran inside the bedroom. And then,
so he was physically abusing the children too?
I was not the only one. It came to a time that my kids was also part.
Wow.
So even one day we decided that the next time Daddy raises his hand, we will gather and then beat him.
He was physically abusing the children
mommy,
too?
My children.
Slapping them?
That night, he said the boy he asked the boy to sleep and they were playing on the floor. So he actually stepped on the guy. He was stepping on him. Then when I hold him, stop it, you kill my son. He pushed me back. The pastor's wife hold him, he pushed her back.
Wow.
So when she came, she said, wow.
Is that what you've been going through?
I said, you thought I was lying because of my body. So when I'm dying, you are not believing me. He said, no, this one, dear, Mommy must hear. So she quickly came and then told you. And then, as Mommy would say, where Jimmy? I was like, I don't know what to do. Mommy, it's today that I'm not sharing tears. Because I have forgiven him. I have forgiven him. Because I was holding him to the extent that nothing was working for me. Nothing. So I said, the day I will share the story and I will not cry, that means I have forgiven him.
Praise God.
I have forgiven him. I have forgiven him. So when I left, he will send me messages. I can't do without you.
Can you imagine?
I love you. And I've lived with this man for 16 years. I've never heard him saying, I love you. Love you for what? Who are you? But when I left, messages. I don't sleep. Baby, now they call me baby. Baby, I can't do without you.
Somebody must baby me.
They'll buy me teddy bear. They'll buy me flowers. They'll buy me things. And me too, that time, I said, you too, you must cry. So me too, when they bring the thing, I will say, I don't want. Oh, I'm begging you. Baby, I love you. My first time seeing him, my pictures on his WhatsApp this time.
Profile.
I didn't.
When you left the house.
When I left, gather my 4 pictures and he wrote under it, God, don't take salt out of my life or something. I was like, hey, I was a salt in your food and you were doing that to me. So I asked him, when did you realize you love me? He said, when I left. I said, hey, me Wuyanka, will you come and tell me you love me? Because, mommy, the tubes in my tubes was blocked. So I was having blackouts.
Wow.
I was having blackouts.
Because the beating and the slapping.
When I'm eating and I heard the man coming from work and they said, hey, Akwaba, my heart, I have to drop the food and sit up, waiting for what is coming. Wow. Because every day is a different thing. Every day. Until I left. Now, they call me baby. My love, how are you? They will send me love.
Love notes.
Love, everywhere love. Mommy, how did you know? My birthday, they'll put my pictures all over. My beautiful wife. Then I was not beautiful, but now that I've left, I am beautiful.
He wants you to go back, oh.
How much I love you. The children, we have to come together to take care of the children. I can't do without you. Hey, I was with you for 16 years. Now I'm not more useless. So now I'm beautiful. My honey, where are you? Are you in the house, honey?
Hey!
When?
After 16 years.
Yes, ma'am.
When you moved out.
When I moved out, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for me at all. When I come to church, I'll go and look for some corner and hide. I don't want to even come out for people
because
to
you
say,
thought you weren't a human being enough.
No. He looked down upon me until I started looking down upon myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was there, let me be here and take care of the children. What will I do? Because I tried.
So if the pastor's wife hadn't called me,
Mommy,
you would have still been there. You are not telling them you were in hall and chamber. When I moved you out, how many bedrooms were you in?
3-bedroom apartment.
Who paid for it?
Mama RITA.
My darling, there's always help. Don't keep quiet and die slowly. Maybe you don't know hall and chamber. In Ghana, we have what we call the compound house, where you share the compound and you share bathroom, toilet, sometimes with 20 other families.
Yeah. Sometimes
with 10 other families. It's just your bedroom and then the living room. The children sleep in the living room and then you and your husband sleep in the bedroom. That is where she was. The day the pastor's wife called me, I moved her into, was it a 3-bedroom house?
3-bedroom. 3-bedroom.
And your children?
They were 3-bedroom apartment. So compound.
My darling, why would you suffer alone? Before we bring the curtain to a close, I will let them bring us their final remarks. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I believe that there are thousands of other women suffering like you and dying slowly. Some people didn't have the opportunity to come out to share their story. I'm sure they'll be sharing their story in heaven or sharing their story in hell. Some of them are sharing their story in Awudome Cemetery. Others are sharing their stories in Osu Cemetery. Please, tell somebody who is listening to you what they must do. Yeah.
I was then afraid to leave the marriage because I was thinking, when I leave, how will I start? I was afraid. I never knew there was help out there. What I will say is that you don't need to stay in that marriage for even 2 years. Because the 3rd year, you may not know what will happen to you. If you are outside and you need to run, don't go back to the house for even slippers or dress.
I like that.
Run from where you are standing. Because you going back to the house,
I like that.
you may not know what will happen in the room. So don't stay and die because of the children. When you die, the children will suffer or they will make it. When you leave, it's better you leave for them to see you or you go with them. They will never go hungry. When I left, I have food in my house. Mama RITA will bring me food. People will come and bless me with food. I have so many food. Even COVID, I was also sharing food.
Hey!
Yes, mommy.
You were sharing food
I was
during
sharing
COVID.
food, COVID, because the food was enough. But when I was leaving, he will tell you that when you go hungry. He will not take care of you. But we never slept without eating. We will cook and give other people food to eat. So please, don't stay in that abusive marriage and die. Because when you die, you go to hell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honorable Beatrice,
No, mommy.
a young lady there is listening to you. A young wife is listening to you.
One advice I would want to give to any young lady out there that they should never go into relationships without God not being involved in it. Because sometimes God might show you a sign, or if even He's not going to show you a sign, through someone closer to you.
I hope somebody is listening. Don't go into relationship without the blessings of God. God would always show you a sign. If He doesn't show you a sign, He will show you signs through people. Go ahead, my darling.
And if you are in a relationship and the person you're dating is not ready to see your spiritual father or the church, any pastor in your church, you shouldn't, go further.
Please tell them.
Just break up with the person.
If you are in a relationship and the person is not ready to see your pastors, please break up with him. Tell them.
And one last thing I would want to say, before I say this, I would want to thank my mom, my parents, for standing firm with me. It's not been easy, but they've been with me and they are still with me. And I want to advise every young lady out there, we should never throw away our parents' advice, because sometimes it can make us or break us. And if you are in a relationship and your parents are not involved, you might end up, losing so many things. And sometimes we might lose things and coming back, it will take years for us to put ourselves together. So I would want us to, put our hope in God, and I know with God everything is possible. Yeah. And I would want to thank you so much and the Apostle General. This program is really helping a lot of people. People might not have the opportunity to come here or say or send messages, but it's really helping a lot of people out there, and I pray that God will give you long life to keep on with this work. And I would want to encourage each and every lady out there. You might, sometimes society is holding us back. We are scared of society to come out of relationships, thinking someone might say, oh, you have a child, so you can't come out of that relationship. Never allow those negative thoughts to bring you back. Just be firm and come out. God has a way of blessing us in so many ways. Not if even your parents are not ready to help you or take you back, your church members are there. God will always send help from any direction. So anyone who is not watching this program should make it, a duty. Every Wednesday, they shouldn't miss Family Life Series, because it's really impacting a lot of we young ladies out there. Because sometimes we are not able to come out or even share our stories with people because we are scared of the negative comments that people will give to us. So thank you so much. Bless you too.
So what I'll say is that never give up on yourself for another chance. And don't look at yourself that you have messed up too badly that God cannot put you back to track. Don't listen to the negative opinions of others. Don't pay too much attention to the negative things that people say to you because of the current circumstances that you find yourself in. I was once in your position. I was once a young lady with 2 young children, minding my business with a lot of challenges because of the past relationships that I have had. I never gave up on myself. Rather, I allowed the negative words that were spoken to me to rather challenge me to make a point and a standard that, look, it doesn't matter what you think of me today. I know that the plans that God has for me is the ones that matter. I took my children up. I raised them in their education, Nobody helped me outside, not their fathers. They never paid a school fees a day. I paid school fees from day one until I remarried again. Those two daughters that I had at the time, that was, society will say that, oh, there is a but attached to your life. Their story has changed. The first one, mommy, Jennifer finished her master's with Coventry University in the United Kingdom. She just finished her master's, awaiting her graduation next month. Wow. The second one is in her final year, University of Ghana, doing political science and French. She also went to France to do a year abroad. Who would have thought that many years ago, these daughters that I had, that everybody thought that I had messed my life up so badly, that nothing was going to amount, I mean, like nothing good will come out of my life. If I didn't listen to them, it means that you can also put aside what everybody is saying. It could be friends, it could be family members. In fact, their voices are so loud that sometimes it overshadows your personal self. And what also helped me so much was that, irrespective of the messed up I thought that I was at the time, I didn't run away from church.
Like that.
I was in church. I dragged my two girls for church service, Sunday, Friday, Royal Ladies, two little girls, camp meetings. Everywhere I went, my children were with me, schooling. And today, the story is different. It is not over until God says that it is over. Look up to God for your daily provision. Talk to God in prayer. Listen to what the church tells you. Speak to Mama Rita, or find a friend in the church. If you think that you are too far from Mama Rita, speak to a pastor. Make a friend to somebody. Share your story to somebody, because if nobody knows what you are going through, they might not be able to help you. But the moment you voice out the pain and the frustration that you are going through, then help could come for you, just like help came for me. And today my story is different. I have remarried again. I married a better man. I'm enjoying my marriage, and I know that tomorrow your story will also be different, and the Lord will change your story. God bless you.
Bless you too.
Thank you, ladies, for coming.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you for being bold to share your stories. Thank you that through you, other ladies will be delivered. God bless you. And I love you.
We love you.
I'll come your way same time next week. We are not done yet. There's so much to talk about when it comes to domestic abuse. I will come your way again. Please don't forget to send in your questions, send in your contributions, and send you your stories. If you are ready to come to the studio and share your story, please write to us, send us a message, and we would invite you. God bless you. From the team, Powerline TV, Family Life, I say thank you and have a good night.